Hi! What was today's video topic supposed to be about again? Oh yeah, the reasons why I do not need to buy another luxury handbag, and neither do you. Hi guys, what is up? This week has been super stressful and we are just starting to get back into a more normal pace at life. So I have really been thinking about, work stuff, and then I've also had to think about what content I want to create on YouTube. So the first things that popped into my head was I can't do a plant video this week simply because my plants are not old enough or they haven't grown quite mature enough for me to do a video. And the second thing is I wanted to do a handbag video, but looking at my closet and looking at all of my handbags, I didn't feel really inspired. So I didn't know what handbag to choose. So the next thing that popped into my head is, hey, I should go out and buy another handbag. And then I caught myself right there and I thought, am I absolutely insane? Have I turned into that bad of a shopaholic that I need to go and buy a handbag every time I feel a little bit stressed out? So this is something that I have been struggling with all week, and then I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna do a video about this. I'm gonna do a video to remind myself that I do not always need to be shopping for another luxury handbag to add to my collection every time I feel just a little bit stressed. So for today's video, I'm going to go through my thought process of what I think about every time I'm trying to reel myself in from making a bad luxury purchase, especially while stress shopping. One of the first things that I always do is I remind myself that it does not matter. What I mean by this is, at the end of the day, it does not matter what bag I am using to the people who really matter. So to my family and friends, they do not care whether I am carrying a $100,000 Himalayan Birkin or a $10 tote bag, a $10,000 Birkin or a $10 tote bag. Really, the number of zeros in my handbag does not matter. And even if I had the most beautiful closet, well, my friends would probably be raiding my closet all the time, but they would not judge me as a person of who I am or my value as a human being on the size of my closet. And I think it is important to remember that money does not buy happiness. Okay, so that is it for this week's video. I hope you did enjoy that little inspiration speech. Wait, guys, I am just kidding. Okay, I know that I am not good enough to be an inspirational speaker just yet. So I do have some more concrete reasons on why we do not always need to be buying a designer handbag. So my next reason is actually to consider the law of diminishing returns. And this is just the idea that spending more money on something doesn't necessarily lead to an equal gain in the benefit or the quality of an item. We tend to think that every time we are buying a luxury item, because we're paying more for the brand name, therefore the quality should go up. And to some extent this may be true, but I think it is only up to a certain point. And really, on a graph, if you were to put price versus quality, it's more of a bell curve as compared to a linear line. And I actually have a very funny story to share with you guys that illustrates my point here, which is my very first Louis Vuitton handbag. So I had not bought any other luxury handbags at this point, and I think the Louis Vuitton handbag I bought secondhand from Japan, and I was having it shipped. So I was super excited, but when I actually opened up the handbag, I was totally disappointed. I mean, it was very hard to hide my disappointment, and the first thing that I thought is, oh my god, is this bag a fake? And no, it wasn't a fake handbag, but the quality was just not what I was expecting. And I really think that this is the problem with people who are experiencing luxury brands for the first time. They're just like, well, I've paid so much money for this, I think that it should be of a certain quality or should feel very different from something that I've only paid $10 or $20 for. But the truth is there is very marginal improvements. I mean, yes, Louis Vuitton will stand the test of time, especially since this was a secondhand handbag, and it was a pretty good handbag as well, but it just didn't feel like it was worth the price point for me. Of course, later on, I did understand that you have to take into consideration the brand value, the brand history, exclusivity of the brand, and all of that good stuff. But at the time, of course, I had sunk in so much money and I was expecting a better product. The other story that I can think of is my Hermes handbag, and this is actually a recent purchase. So we all know that Hermes is like the gold standard in terms of quality and craftsmanship of handbags, and I was able to get my hands on a very beautiful Kelly, which I understand now. Of course, I have a little bit more understanding that a lot of what we're paying for is really the value of delight that we get from the handbag. And I was looking at it and I was thinking, oh my god, did I actually spend this much money on a handbag? And the quality is there. Yes, it is very, very good, but I wouldn't say that it is so much better as compared to something like Dior or what's that brand with the letter M? Anyways, I will put it down here. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but there are a lot of really, really good brands out there that are not necessarily quite as popular, but actually have really good quality craftsmanship, and the price point is a lot less than Hermes. What I do think Hermes is good at, though, is the idea of exclusivity, and this is really another trick that I think that these designers are playing on us, because it's not that easy just to go into the store and buy an Hermes handbag or buy an Hermes Kelly or Birkin or even a Constance. You have to play their game of buying a certain amount before they will even offer you a Kelly, a Constance, or a Birkin. And I think because they do play this game, it kind of puts it in the psychology of this bag is very exclusive, this bag is very elusive, and therefore it is entitled to a very high price point. So it's not necessarily the quality, the functionality, or the craftsmanship that is dictating the price point of the handbag here. It's really more all about their marketing strategy and how elusive and exclusive a handbag can be. So now that I understand that luxury is more of a marketing game, the question that I ask myself is, am I going to get the value of delight from this handbag? I understand right away that this handbag may not be the most functional in terms of the way that you use it. It may not even be the best quality. It may not be made from leather or some sort of exotic material, and I could probably purchase a similar handbag at a lower price point. So the only thing that really justifies the cost of this handbag is that extra something that I get from it, which I term as value of delight from the handbag. And is that value of delight worth the extra that I am paying for this handbag? Another thing that I try to remind myself whenever I'm going through some sort of shopping crisis is that luxury brands are actually tricking our brains with the psychology of price increases. Whenever a product's price goes up, it increases our blood oxygen level dependent activity in our brain's medial orbital frontal cortex, which is an area that is widely thought to encode our experience of pleasantness. Basically, our brains will physically change and tell us that a product is superior when we have paid more money for it. There is actually a study done about this with wine bottles, and basically what they did is they had different wine bottles with all the same wine on the inside, but they labeled it with different pricing. And of course, people always liked or always thought that the wine that tasted the best was the most expensive wine, even though all the wines were exactly the same. And I think if we did the same experiment with handbags, people would probably be willing to pay a lot less for a handbag without a designer logo as compared to the exact same handbag that had the designer logo on it. Another way that brands use this little psychology trick to their advantage is scheduled price increases. And I'm sure we have all seen that in Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Tiffany & Co. and all of the other luxury brands that despite us going through unprecedented time in current history, increasing prices, on us. And despite the fact that they are going through a lot of quality control issues, they still keep continuing to increase prices. So I think this works twofold in that if you already have the handbag, you kind of pat yourself on the back and you think, wow, I got a really great deal for this handbag. And it works also in the other way. If you haven't gotten the handbag just yet, you find yourself kicking yourself that why didn't you buy it when the price was a lot cheaper? So either which way, price increases always work towards the brand's advantage. And I think that this little psychology trick is really marketing at its finest. The last thing that I try to remind myself whenever I am stress shopping is that fashion trends are fleeting. Fashion trends change so quickly nowadays because of social media and the internet. It used to be when we buy a product, we would have to use it up until we could pass it down either to the next generation or up until it had really lost all of its use and we had to throw it away. Because of this, brands usually had to make sure that the quality of their item was good, as well as the style had to be able to withstand the test of time. Fast forward to today, where we have fast internet, fast food, fast fashion, fast everything basically, and you're never really sure what is going to be the next trend. You know, something that might be an investment today may not even be that fashionable tomorrow. And the one that I am thinking of right now is actually the Gucci Marmont line. So I'm sure you guys have all seen this. All of the influencers 2 years ago were saying that the Gucci Marmont line is here to stay. It is absolutely perfect. It will fit your wardrobe, and definitely it is a keeper, and I would say that it is a classic. They have like the classic flap bag, the classic camera bag. All the shapes were very, very classic, and this is something that you will be using 10 years down the line. Well, fast forward 2 years later, and the same influencers are saying that
that line is so passé. I mean, I do not want to be seen outside wearing that anymore because it seems like everybody is wearing it, and because it is just so old-fashioned.
I mean, this is just 2 years ago. Whatever happened to it being a classic? And we are seeing this more and more often now these days. So I really think that the brands are trying to keep up with whatever fashion trend is actually happening, so much that you see people actually copying each other, or brands actually copying each other. And yeah, everything just starts looking alike. So one of the questions that I will always ask myself, or I will think about before I make a bad luxury purchase, is this something that I am going to love? Is it something that I'm going to still wear even if everybody else says that it is ugly or it's no longer in fashion? Is it something that actually speaks to my true sense of what I find elegant, or of what I find will always be in style for me? So I think that these are the three main questions that I always ask myself over and over again before I make a luxury handbag purchase, which is, am I going to get the value of delight, which is probably the only reason that justifies the cost of this handbag? The second is, am I really liking this product, or am I just afraid of a price increase, or is some sort of marketing technique getting to me? And thirdly, is it going to be something that I will love in the years to come? So guys, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please do let me know in the comments down below what is your own thought process whenever you are purchasing a new luxury handbag. If you enjoyed today's video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you aren't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like to continue a discussion on the Chanel price increase, I will link that video up here, so check it out. And if you are interested in any handbag reviews, I will link the playlist down here, so you can check that out as well. And also the subscribe button is right here. Anyways guys, please do take care, and I will see all of you in the next video. Bye bye.